Hey everyone, welcome back. It's time for another deep dive. And today, we're going to be looking at something pretty fascinating, Meta AI.
Meta AI.
Yeah, Meta AI. Now you're probably thinking,
Facebook.
Facebook. Exactly. Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And we think of social media, but they're doing a lot more these days. They are really invested in cutting edge AI research. And it's honestly impacting all of us, whether we realize it or not.
I think people would be surprised by
I think so.
how much it is impacting their lives.
Yeah, and we're going to get into all that today. Just to give you a little taste, one of the things we found in our research, Meta AI, is actually being used to create virtual fashion models
Oh, wow.
that can be customized for different brands and marketing campaigns.
So no more photo shoots.
No more photo shoots.
Just AI.
AI generating these models on demand. Pretty wild stuff, right?
Yeah. It's going to be fascinating to see how all of that unfolds.
I know, I know. So we've got a ton of articles, research reports all about Meta AI, and it looks like they're focusing on four main areas.
Okay.
Natural language processing, computer vision,
Okay.
machine learning models,
Yeah.
and augmented and virtual reality.
Wow. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
We'll
So
jump in.
let's jump right in. Why don't we start with natural language processing,
Okay.
NLP, as the cool kids call it.
Yeah.
And this is really where things, I think, start to get super interesting.
Yeah. NLP is fascinating.
Yeah, so explain this to me because we're talking about AI that can understand and generate human language,
Right.
like better than ever before.
Better than ever before.
What does that even mean?
So we're talking about things like chatbots. They can actually have really complex conversations and provide customer support.
Yeah.
Even help writers create content.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine a world where you have a digital assistant that can understand you perfectly and can write like your favorite author.
I mean, are we talking about like the end of like copywriters and things like that? Or is this like
Who knows?
a tool that can...
Right now, I think it's a tool to
see.
augment
Yeah.
those skills.
So it's not just about like simple chatbots anymore. It's like AI that can use language like we do.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's natural language processing. That's one area. Pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
Then we have computer vision.
Right.
So this is basically giving computers the ability to see
Just see.
and interpret images and videos.
Yes.
I mean, think about the implications of that for something like content moderation on social media.
Huge.
Huge, right?
Massive.
Because Meta AI, they can identify and remove harmful content so much faster and more accurately than humans ever could.
Right. And it's constantly learning, too.
Yeah, and I saw in some of the research that it's estimated that Meta AI can remove like 98% of hate speech content
Oh, wow.
before anyone even sees it.
That's incredible.
Which is pretty amazing considering just the sheer volume of content that's being uploaded every second.
Every second.
It's a lot.
So they're using AI to understand language. They're using it to understand images. But what about machine learning models?
I know that these models are all about using data to make predictions and personalize experiences. But how does that actually work in practice?
So Meta uses machine learning models in a lot of really interesting ways. One example is their work with recommendation algorithms.
Yeah.
So you know how Netflix suggests shows you might like?
Yep.
Meta's AI does the same thing across their platforms.
Okay.
So they're analyzing your past interactions, everything from what you click on to how long you watch a video, and then they use that data to predict what content you'll find engaging.
So every time I'm scrolling through Instagram, it's not just like random posts I'm seeing.
Not necessarily.
It's Meta AI deciding what it thinks I'm going to want to see next.
Exactly. And that's not just limited to social media either.
Yeah.
Meta uses these algorithms for targeted advertising as well.
Okay.
So it's analyzing your demographics, your interests, even your online behavior to show you ads that are relevant to you.
That explains why I keep seeing ads for hiking gear, even though I haven't searched for it in weeks. I guess my Instagram photos from that mountain trip gave me away.
Exactly. It's all about creating a more personalized experience.
Okay, so we've got natural language processing, we've got computer vision, we've got machine learning models. And then last but not least, we have augmented and virtual reality.
AR, VR.
AR, VR, or as I like to call it, the future.
Right.
And this is where I think things get really futuristic.
Yeah.
I mean, you've probably heard of their MetaQuest VR headsets.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But they're not just stopping there. They're using AI to make these VR experiences even more immersive.
Right. It's not just about the hardware anymore. It's about how AI can enhance those experiences.
Right. So give me an example. Like, how are they using AI to actually enhance these technologies?
Well, take, for example, their work with hand tracking in VR.
Yeah.
Meta has developed an AI system that can actually track your hand movements in real time without you needing any controllers.
Whoa, that's
So
wild.
you can interact with virtual objects in a much more natural and intuitive way.
So it's like almost like you're really there
Exactly.
touching things.
Exactly. Imagine picking up a virtual object and feeling its weight or feeling the texture of its surface.
I can't even imagine.
It's pretty incredible.
It's pretty wild.
Hmm.
But beyond like gaming and entertainment, are there any like practical applications for this type of technology?
Absolutely. Meta is actually exploring the use of AR, VR in fields like education, healthcare, even manufacturing. I mean, they've partnered with hospitals to create VR simulations for surgical training,
Oh, wow.
which allows medical students to practice complex procedures in a safe environment.
So it's like a whole other level of like
It's-
hands-on learning.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got all of these amazing things that Meta AI is doing, but how is this actually impacting businesses in the real world?
I think that's the really interesting part. We've talked about all of these different innovations, but
Yeah.
how is this actually being applied in a practical way?
Right.
Well, let's dive into some real-world examples.
Okay, let's do it.
We've been talking about all these different innovations, but how are these actually being used?
Yeah, let's get specific.
Okay, so let's start with the retail industry.
Okay, retail. Yeah.
We mentioned AI-powered personal shoppers.
Mm-hmm.
Are those actually a thing now?
Is that really happening?
Yeah, you bet it is.
Yeah.
And a great example of that is ASOS.
Okay, ASOS, the fashion retailer.
Yeah, they've integrated Meta AI
Mm-hmm.
into their app
Okay.
to create a personalized shopping experience.
I mean, how does that even work?
So their AI analyzes your browsing history, your past purchases, and even things like what you've liked on social media.
Oh, wow.
And then based on all that data, it recommends clothing items that it thinks will fit your style.
So it's like having a stylist in my pocket.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
It is, and it's been really successful for ASOS.
Really?
They've reported a significant increase in sales and customer satisfaction.
That makes sense. I mean, I remember the days of just like endlessly scrolling
Oh, yeah.
through pages of clothes trying to find something I like.
Right?
This sounds so much more efficient.
Much more efficient.
So, okay, so that's retail.
That's retail.
What about other industries?
Okay, let's talk about customer service.
Okay, we touched on it earlier,
Oh.
but are companies actually using Meta AI for customer service in a substantial way?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
KLM Royal Dutch Airlines is a great example.
KLM.
They've implemented a Meta AI-powered chatbot
Okay.
that handles a ton of customer inquiries.
So everything from like booking flights to like,
Everything, booking flights, checking in baggage allowance, all of that.
oh, wow. So instead of waiting on hold for like an hour,
Exactly.
you can just chat with a bot,
Chat with a bot.
get your questions answered instantly.
And KLM has seen great results from this.
Like what?
They've reported significant reduction in call wait times and just an overall improvement in customer satisfaction.
That makes sense.
It frees up their human agents to deal with more complex issues.
The things that actually need a human touch.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've seen how Meta AI is helping retailers personalize shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Airlines improve customer service.
Yes.
What other industries are being transformed?
Okay, let's talk about healthcare.
Healthcare.
Meta AI is making a real difference in disease diagnosis and treatment planning.
Okay, so give me an example.
Sure, they've developed an AI model that can detect signs of diabetic retinopathy
Okay.
from retinal images,
And diabetic retinopathy, that's a leading cause of blindness, right?
the leading cause of blindness.
So AI is literally helping doctors save people's eyesight.
Yes, and early detection is key here because the sooner it's caught, the better the chances of successful treatment.
Wow, so this technology is actually being used right now.
It's being used right now in hospitals and clinics around the world.
Okay, so we've got retail, we've got airlines, we've got healthcare.
We do.
This is amazing. Meta AI is everywhere.
It's pretty incredible.
What other industry examples do we have?
Okay, let's talk about something completely different, the automotive industry.
Okay.
Cars. Cars.
Yeah.
Meta AI is playing a key role in the development of self-driving cars.
Oh, wow. So like Tesla and all those companies.
Companies like Tesla are using Meta's computer vision technology
Okay.
to help their vehicles see and interpret the world.
See the world.
Yeah, and this technology is essential for things like lane keeping, obstacle avoidance, even traffic sign recognition.
Self-driving cars always seemed so far off.
I know, it seemed like science fiction.
But it's clear that AI is bringing that future closer.
It is, and think about the potential benefits.
What are we talking about?
Increased safety, reduced traffic congestion, and even greater accessibility for people who can't drive themselves.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to think about.
It is.
Okay, so we've seen all these amazing things,
We have.
but are there any downsides to this technology?
Well, like with any powerful technology, there are potential risks and challenges.
Okay, like what?
Well, one concern that's often raised is the potential for job displacement.
Right, because as AI systems become more sophisticated,
More
they
sophisticated.
can automate a lot of the tasks that humans do.
Exactly. So there's a concern that AI could lead to job losses.
So how do we deal with that?
Well, it's crucial to focus on retraining and upskilling the workforce.
Okay, so giving people the skills they need.
Exactly the skills they need to thrive in a future where AI is a big part of the picture.
So things like investing in education and training programs.
Exactly. Programs that focus on AI-related fields.
So it's not just about like resisting AI, it's
Right.
about adapting
And adapt it.
and making sure people are prepared.
Exactly.
Okay, so job displacement is one concern.
Hmm.
What else?
Another important consideration is data privacy and security.
Right. Because these AI
They
systems,
rely on massive amounts of data.
and we talked about that earlier with like the personalized customer experiences.
Exactly.
But how do we make sure that companies are using that data ethically?
Well, transparency is key.
Okay.
Companies need to be upfront with users about how they're collecting and using their data,
So being open about it.
being open and honest, and they also need to implement strong security measures to protect that data.
Okay, so it's about building trust with users.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Building trust and being accountable.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the potential downsides.
Right.
Job displacement, data privacy.
But overall, it seems like Meta AI is being used for good.
I think so. I think we're seeing a lot of really positive applications of this technology.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to see how it's transforming these different industries.
It is, and I think we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to come.
A lot more to come.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Meta AI.
Meta AI.
We've explored a lot of the innovations, the real-world applications, even talked about some of the challenges.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack.
But now I want to kind of zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture.
Hmm.
What does the future hold for Meta AI and AI in general?
Well, I think it's an exciting time to be thinking about the future of AI.
You think so?
I do, because we're seeing just incredible advancements right now.
Yeah, and it feels like the pace of innovation is only getting faster.
Exactly. And Meta is really well positioned to shape this future.
I mean, you're right. They are investing a ton of money into AI research and development.
They are.
But like, what do you actually see happening? What's on the horizon? Okay, well, one major trend I see is a focus on creating AI systems that are more human-like.
More human-like.
Yeah, in their abilities.
Yeah.
So we're talking about AI that can understand and respond to natural language,
Okay.
that can learn and adapt to new situations, and even generate creative content like music or art.
So it's like we're blurring the lines between human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's a little bit unsettling when you think about it too closely.
I know, it's both fascinating and a little bit scary.
It is, but from a technological standpoint, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And Meta is really at the forefront of this research, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Can you give me an example?
Go ahead.
Like, how are they actually trying to create this more human-like AI?
Okay, well, one area where they're making progress is natural language processing.
Okay.
And they've developed an AI model called Project CI.
Project CIRE, okay.
Yeah. And this AI can engage in really nuanced conversations,
So more so than the chatbots that we've seen before.
much more so. It can even remember past conversations and use that information to inform future interactions.
So it's like actually learning from its experiences.
It's learning.
Wow.
And that has implications for customer service, virtual assistants, even online education.
I mean, imagine like having a tutor
A virtual tutor.
that could actually have a conversation with you and like adapt to how you're learning.
Exactly, and personalize its teaching style to meet your needs.
That's amazing.
It is.
Okay, so that's one trend. What other trends are you seeing in the development of Meta AI?
Okay, so another key trend is the integration of AI with other emerging technologies like augmented and virtual reality.
AR, VR.
Yes,
You've
we
been-
talked earlier about Meta's work with the MetaQuest VR headsets.
Right.
Well, they're integrating AI into those headsets to create even more immersive and interactive experiences.
So paint me a picture. What does that look like?
Okay, imagine putting on a VR headset and you're in a virtual world that feels real.
Okay.
You can interact with virtual objects,
Mm-hmm.
have conversations with virtual characters. and even experience different simulations that feel completely real.
So, like, indistinguishable from reality? I
Exactly.
mean, that sounds like a sci-fi movie.
I know, but Meta's advancements are making that sci-fi a reality.
And the potential applications are huge.
Huge education, training, entertainment, even therapy.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
Okay, so Meta AI is on this path to really change the way we live and work.
It is.
But with all this power comes great responsibility, right?
Absolutely. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives,
Mm.
we have to think about developing and using it ethically.
Ethically.
So we have to consider things like data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the potential impact on jobs and society as a whole.
Okay, so how is Meta addressing these ethical concerns?
Well, they've published a set of responsible AI principles,
Okay.
and those outline their commitment to developing and using AI in a beneficial way.
Okay, so addressing those issues like fairness, transparency, accountability.
All of that.
And I think they even have like an AI ethics team.
They do. They have a team that's focused on the ethical implications of their work.
So it seems like they're taking it seriously.
They are.
But ultimately, it's not just up to Meta, right?
It's not just up to them.
We all kind of have a role to play.
We do in shaping the future of AI.
So what can our listeners do?
Okay, well, staying informed is a great first step.
Okay.
There are tons of resources available, online articles, podcasts, online courses.
Okay.
You can also support organizations that are promoting responsible AI.
Hmm.
And I think most importantly, we need to talk about it.
Talk about it.
Yeah, have conversations with friends, family, colleagues.
So the more we're talking about it,
The more informed we'll be.
yeah, and the better decisions we'll make.
Exactly.
Well, I think this deep dive has really given us a lot to think about,
I think so too.
from the amazing applications to the potential impact on society.
It's a powerful technology.
Meta AI is a force to be reckoned with, and as it keeps evolving, we need to stay informed, engage in these conversations, and work together to make sure it's being used for good.
I think that's the key takeaway here.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Meta AI.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions.